Good morning everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jairo. Today I am excited to show you a very particular walk which I have been planning for the longest time to make, and because of the thumbnail and everything you probably already know where I would be more or less if you are at least familiar with the island of Aruba. Now I am starting here at a what we call boca, or a bay here near the windmills, the Aruba windmills situated at Vader Piet. I'll be touching on several topics today, and I can feel the salty, wet air that is already hitting the camera and such. Now these bays are definitely not for swimming, even though look at the waves, wow. They are very, very high waves today. Wow, look at that splash. Wow! That's just, that alone is telling you how strong these currents are here on the north side of Aruba. And even though it's beautiful, we will touch on a topic right away that is definitely of concern, not just in Aruba, but just about everywhere in the world. And that is that even though we have a beautiful beach, at least to look at, maybe not to swim, but look at how much trash the sea will bring to us. And it's just crazy. This is just part of it. And I'll be talking a little bit more about this during this walk, and bear with me as usual. Oftentimes the winds in this area certainly are, you know, of a concern. I am being chased away by the bird. They're probably having some kind of nest in the area, and I will be cleaning up the lens in a bit. I'm wondering if this may have been dug up by a turtle. Probably not from the looks of it, but maybe some turtle trying to lay a nest there. Maybe. Now we can continue to see so much trash here. Now if I want to talk about this, you're probably asking yourself, like, how can this be? Like, how in the world can we have so much trash here in a bay like this one in Aruba? Now you can also start to see the windmills that are producing part of the power for Aruba, the energy for our consumption at home, at the resorts, at the hotels, Airbnbs, etc. Now, but getting back to the trash, now most of this, I dare say, without having done any studies myself, but I dare say that most of this trash is probably coming from countries, other islands, countries in the neighborhood, probably vessels, including maybe even cruise ships. And over time, they accumulate, and they got to end up somewhere. And that somewhere, among other places, is at the north shore of Aruba. And I'm not saying that none of this trash is, you know, brought here by locals or by tourists or something like that. But on the north shore, it's definitely more just the general plastic pollution that we have everywhere. Look at this great big mess. And you can find a lot of things, and studies have been done, by the way. I know the University of Aruba has done a few studies. Permit me briefly to clean up the lens. So, are we still on? The gimbal went like, what are you doing? My excuses for that briefly. And as I try to make my way through this trash so we can get out of this part. And periodically these bays are cleaned up, obviously, and we can see definitely some lizards and some crabs. I saw several crab running around. I'm not seeing them right now, but I saw certainly when you see things like these, or these ones actually, are crabs. If you get lucky, you will see some of them. So they are way out here digging up and making their home further up. So they are more or less, you know, pretty much part of having to live with the plastic pollution, especially. So it's a call more than anything. Even a tire, are you kidding me? Anyway, we'll get back to that one in a moment. But as you can see, it's also a beautiful area if you just throw away all those trash. And while they are periodically cleaned, it's an ongoing cleanup, that's for sure. It feels like you can never end, you can never finish. It feels like, and that's the very, very sad part of all of this. Now further up, like we are now, you see just about no trash almost. So if you are so far enjoying this hike, we are going to go a little bit far today, so hang in there, and hopefully the camera and everything are going to do a nice job for us. I'm seeing some lizards back there. They're probably in there, probably hiding. Oh, I see. They are just running away, because I assume that not many people are walking here. And I was about to say that if you are liking my videos, liking this one especially, consider subscribing. That's like one of the best things that you can do. But also next, you can give it a like, and I'll have a lot of information of this area of Aruba that it's probably, it has been explored, of course, but it's just not shown almost at all in the videos. And comment below if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. And you can also suggest new hikes and new walks. I do try to tackle each and every one of them as best as I can. Now let me make a brief detour and go here on the right side. And there is a good reason for it, that we are also seeing some old abandoned cars. And you might be asking yourself, why is that? Like, why would we do that? And quite frankly, I'm asking that myself. And hold on, I'll explain. There is a reason for it though. And so let's see. Over there, we see, like, I know it's a little bit far with the wide angle of the GoPro, but over there we can see a container also abandoned in this area. We can see some sandbags right there, and several vehicles, among other this one. Wow, why am I tired already? But I did hike to get to here, so that's probably the reason. Now, if you notice something to this one, well, maybe not even on this side, but maybe on the other side. So it was a Chevrolet, by the way. If you need any parts, I can come back and check it for you. But getting aside, we can see some bullets. Now the military training takes place in this area, and it's an area called Vader Piet, and we are, apart from the windmill, we are, you know, a few miles, a few kilometers away from Cerro Colorado, which is that way. And the entrance to the national park, the alternate entrance, is somewhere back here. And let's turn around briefly. And I don't know if you can see them very clearly, but there are a lot of other cars in this area and some sand, especially, you know, put there for the training, I assume. And I'm going to start speeding up because we got a lot to cover today, and always concerned with the camera getting a little bit too hot, especially at this time of the day. Now, the Vader Piet is someone who lived in this area. He was used to, you know, to have a plantation, and that was in the early 1800s, 1820s or so. And I believe his name was Peter Lampe, I think, or Leclerc. No, I don't think he was a Leclerc. I think he was a Lampe. And he was a well-respected man, apparently, and very kind man. But I couldn't find a reason why, but apparently he was murdered. I don't know if in this same area or another area, but in any case he was. And this area later became what we know today as Vader Piet, Vader being Father Piet. And in Dutch we pronounce it the same way, basically, Piet, but we write it P-I-E-T. And as far as the windmills, they have been here since, forgetting some years here, but, and how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, just making sure there are 10, not 9. You're still with me, thank you. You're helping me count. Thank you for that. Now, I do believe the windmills were set here around 2006, 2008, more or less. And the reason is that after studies, it was, you know, they knew that this is the right area to put them because the best winds are in this area. So that goes to show how windy and why you see those very strong waves, high waves that are over there. Now, I'm not gonna go much further here up here, but we can see some part of the military training facilities, and that's just about it. I don't think that they have much more in this area, and has been used for years. And where we are heading is the Tunnel of Love. And look, I'm walking here, and this is part of things that you can find here. So you gotta be careful. Don't come with sandals, preferably. Just about anywhere in Aruba you can, you know, walk on those. And yeah, so these windmills, they supply the island with power, and obviously it's not the whole island, and we are at around 110,000 inhabitants, more or less. Let's just round it up to even 120. This will produce enough for about anywhere between 10 and maybe even 25% of the whole island. And because of the rising cost of fuel and everything, there is a talk right now that maybe they're gonna put some more windmills, which it's a controversial issue, and some may or may not agree with it. But I think being an island like we are, you have to understand that we do not have any other resources. And so if you're a large country, you could probably depend on another industry to keep you afloat. Especially we saw that during the lockdown recently. And we realized that just catching my breath here. We realized that we need something. We need a relief somewhere. And I think, and this is a very personal opinion, you may have yours, I'll definitely respect it, and we could discuss about it. But I think having, at least partially, not having the island not to be fully dependent on the prices, the fuel prices, the oil prices, is definitely something that I think could help us on the long run. And let's see what happens, because those projects do take a while for them to actually come together. And so we'll see if that's the case or not. As you can see, you're probably noticing my voice, and you're probably not noticing via the camera, but I have been pretty much climbing a hill, and I can easily do this, but when you're talking, you definitely lose some breath. And no, I'm not in the best shape right now. That's the plan in the coming months, but it definitely it definitely is a thing when you are doing, or when I am making these videos, these walking videos. Just briefly stopped here to check my shoe because I just felt something, but everything is okay. And since we are walking to the Tunnel of Love, which is right across this third windmill, I have to start telling a few things that I can remember at least. And one of them is that, let me go up with the angle a little bit so you can see the windmill a little bit better maybe. And you can also probably start hearing them. And it has a very constant sound. And the Tunnel of Love was closed quite a few years ago, over 15, I do believe, over 15 years ago. And used to be really both a local favorite and also for the tourists. And it was catching the attention of a lot of companies, and a lot of tours made their stop there. And the more popular Guadalquivir and Fountain Cave were all of a sudden not as popular as they used to be. And at the entrance of the caves, they used to rent some flashlights, and back then we didn't have as many phones. Probably we didn't even have them. Maybe some Nokias or Blackberries, I don't know. And then what else? So you had to rent some flashlights, and that was definitely interesting to go down there, and I'll explain a little bit more further up. Let me see if I can cross somewhere over here. I'm trying to remember the name of the cave, because I do believe it had another name, like more like an Aruba name. Oh wow, okay. Let's check this out briefly. That's why I'm feeling. Whoa. Other side is okay. And excuse me for showing you the ground. Still feeling something weird in one of my shoes. Let's take a brief look up also. So I'm trying to remember the name, the Aruba name of the cave. Maybe it's like Huliba or something like that. Huliba with an H. I see some signs over there, so maybe there is a sign with it. Maybe. I'm gonna cross here. And these windmills, I do believe they are around 60 to 80 meters, more or less, and about 50 meters wide. And each one, I do believe, is supposed to produce like 1.5 megawatt, I do believe, megawatt. Got confused in those. And I was at the WEP, which is the water and energy plant of Aruba, a couple of months ago, and they were explaining, and these windmills are usually producing more of what they should be, because of the wind in Aruba is so good that that's the reason why they're producing more. Imagine that. So no sign, but this is the road. We'll still have a while before we get there. It is still somewhat of a long road. I'll put the camera a little bit further down. Hopefully it's not. Midday walks here in Aruba are very difficult usually because the camera will get hot. And one thing that does keep it fresh and not overheat is the constant breeze. That's definitely something that's very, very good. And let me check if the microphone's still good. I do believe it is. And this is the old road that leads to the Tunnel of Love. Beautiful hike here. And I'll just take a brief moment here to kind of catch my breath and drink some water. In the meantime, I'll leave you a little bit with the view. And here on our right, we will start seeing potentially some goats, like a small farm with some goats. Just a second here, having a hard time putting back the water. Just a second, guys. Thank you for your patience. I am always so happy to take you on these walks and show you my island, of course, and it's a great honor, great pleasure to do these walks. And I have met so many folks recently just walking around, you know, among other places, the Palm Beach and the hotel area, but also in the Ecological National Park. I've met a few folks, and by the way, we are still walking in the park. Sounds cool, walking in the park. I don't see the goats, but I do hear them. Let me see if I can put the camera a little bit higher. Oh, there they are. Right here, some little ones. So cool. And if you are maybe asking me like, okay, we are still in the park, so this is within the Ecological National Park. How come, you know, how is this possible, whatever? Unfortunately, I don't have any answers for that. I don't know. It might have been, and now I'm completely assuming here, but it might have been like just that these folks own the terrain and they are not forced, or were not forced to sell it or leave when the park was open. And let me show you, just for the fun of it, these are, I guess, it's probably goat poop, but we also have some rabbits here in this area. And recently when I was here with Marlene, by the way, hello Marlene, thank you for watching, thank you for your support, Lucy, and also hello to the kids watching, I'm pretty sure they are. And so Marlene had, or still has, a bucket list, and she scratched quite a few of the very rare to spot animals here on Aruba, and the rabbit was one of them. And while we saw it for like maybe 2 seconds, maybe, but she, you know, she was so happy to see it, and so was I, so that she was able to. And I did see one when we did the night walk, and unfortunately that night, because they do come out at night mostly, but this one was during the day, and she didn't see that one, so this time she did. And hopefully next time you are able to see it for a longer time. They always run away though, they usually do. They're very, very shy, and as I have been explaining in other videos, man, it's hot. The boa is a threat to them. So that's one of the predators that they have over the last decade or a little bit longer, that we've had the infestation of the boas, unfortunately. And we also have, I haven't seen them in this particular area, but there is also a population of owls, and they are so cool to spot, and we have spotted them quite a few times already, and not necessarily in the national park. You can spot them in other areas as well. And while we were close to the Yamanota, we also spotted a beautiful, beautiful rattlesnake, which I might have the video still, might put it here in this walk so you can appreciate it also. As I said, the walk to the cave, that's this hike, will take a bit, and but we are definitely getting closer and closer to it, so no worries. And in case you're wondering, yes, I do mention it. Yes, I do walk back to the car, and my car is more or less where the windmills are. So if you are still doubting that I am definitely loving doing this and doing my best for you guys, give this video a like. Come on, guys, give it a like, subscribe. A lot more content coming from Aruba, and hopefully I will be also having a lot more vlogs again, hopefully. And that's something that I had to take a break from, because producing videos does take a lot of time from, you know, like your personal life, and that's something that needs to happen also here and there. No problems really, just general stuff, general, you know, maybe things to do around the house and just time to relax and such. Oh, beautiful cactus in this area, by the way. And over here it's not windy, by the way, not windy at all. And we are now approaching the X-tunnel of lava, and just take a brief look. We can still see the windmills back there. That's not a sight we used to have. And this entrance, the main entrance of the cave, you know, has been like overgrown with plants and trees. Oh, beautiful flowers. Are you kidding me? Wow, that's so beautiful. Now, anyone remembering this? I mean, it was all clear over here, so it was all open, no trees, what I can remember at least, and you were able to walk around it. Wow, I'm loving these flowers big time. Big time, big time, big time. I see some bees though, and some maribombas. Excuse me. See if we can go down. Hopefully no rattlesnakes today. I don't want to be running back, and I don't want to be falling either. So let's go slow. And just in case, this will not be the end of the walk necessarily. Wow, look at these flowers, but look at the bees also around them. Is this beautiful or what? This is amazing. And what I was really here for is just showing you the lower part of the cave. Now, I'm not going to go way in there because of the bees mostly, but that's where you would go down to enter the cave. Now it is closed, you know, you cannot really go in, although I have heard that you can, but let's just say that you can't and shouldn't. It was closed by the park, by the way, and with the reason that apparently the bats that live in this cave especially are very important to our ecosystem, and that, oh, it's beautiful here. So it's very important to our ecosystem, and they will come out at night and go feed on some cactus, etc. And they are, from what I understand, the only ones that actually do that. So that's a very good reason to protect them. And this was getting way too commercialized anyway. But it was a very cool cave, because you would get down there and usually would not come back up from the same side, but rather you would walk here, of course underneath, and and you would end up somewhere else. And I'm going to show you that part, and that will be the end of this walk. It's probably like a minute or two away, more or less. And I wanted to also bring a different area. I have been meaning to do some more hikes or hiking videos here in the national park, but because of the preparation, because of the time it takes and everything, sometimes these things are a little bit complicated. So I hope you are appreciating it. Some of these hiking videos do not get the views that I sometimes would like, to be honest, but it doesn't take away that they are probably some of the videos that I most like to make, because I know that the true Aruba lovers are always loving these type of videos where they are not aware of certain parts of the island, and that's really one of the main reasons why I like making them. Now we are getting more or less where the other part is, so the exit, you could say, from the it's pretty you know, with a lot of trees. I don't want to risk going down there, but let's see if I can at least put the camera down here. Maybe you guys can see more than I can right now. And but yeah, this one is also closed, and it goes all the way back there. So I don't have much information on how deep these caves were, or this cave was, but I do remember you have to get a little bit down, and yeah, it's I don't know, what is it, like maybe 200 meters or so. I'm just wild guess here though. But it was a beautiful cave. Anyway, as I usually say, anyway, nothing further to add. But I hope you guys have truly liked this hike, this video, and got some new information and maybe a new area to explore, or even to just do a short hike. Don't do it usually during the midday hours. I'm doing this for the video, so the colors will be looking a whole lot nicer, but quite frankly, it's really hot. So, you know, put your sunblock on and enjoy your days on Aruba. Anyway guys, I'm heading to the beach to cool off right now. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye guys. Thank you for watching, and remember the end screen, subscribe. Bye bye. Whew, it's hot. Man. 1, 2, 3, 4.